off with, Noctis. We saw Cooler versus Rigo earlier on. Then we saw Agent versus Hal, Faz versus Vu, which was one of the, I think, arguably the strongest set we've seen all night.
That was a long one.
We just had Luminous versus Sombra. So we've had 5 series so far. I do believe our next one, ooh, this is
we have a doozy of a game lined up. Stermy and Cypher.
This is a bit of I think a bit of a Quake all-star match right now. This is top Quake versus top Quake. Cypher, many-time world champion for Quake overall, and already looking really strong. Won the week 1 of the 125 FPS Cups for Quake champions, going in first things first with Blaskovitz, and Stermy responds with Nyx.
So while these guys pick their champions, let's talk about some of Cypher's accomplishments. This guy, recently sponsored by Virtus Pro. That's a big one. However,
That's
this guy,
big news.
Absolutely big news, especially for him, but also, the Quake community, these major teams are starting to pay attention. But Cypher, this guy has won QuakeCon before. This guy has seen his fair share of grand finals, firsts, seconds, whatever. But most of it, though, has come from Quake Live. The sort of, bear in mind, it's been a while since, Quake Live was released. However, it was enough time to really sort of create a legacy and assert yourself as one of the absolute world's best players. Now, with Quake Champions, Cypher did very dominantly take week number 1 of the 125 FPS Cup for Quake Champions. In that first week, he looked pretty much untouchable. Now, he didn't enter week number 2, so I believe, I'm fairly sure this is the latest tournament that he's sort of really taken part of since that first week of 125 FPS.
But I'm sure that hasn't meant he's been slacking off, right?
Oh, by no means. I mean, level 70, right? Level 70.
That sort of speaks a lot by itself. But I have no doubt he's just been, keeping his head down, grinding out this week. And this team composition he's gone for is already a little bit different than we've seen from him before. Going for that Blaskovitz, Nyx, and the Visor.
Let's not forget Stermy as well. Definitely no slouch. This guy was a monster in Quake 4. And to be honest, many arena shooters. This guy knows how to play his arena FPS. So Cypher versus Stermy, very exciting matchup.
But something that really excites me about Stermy's lineup, though, is we've got the Blaskovitz and the Nyx, which we've seen so many times today, but the Scale Bearer. The Scale Bearer is sitting pretty there, especially on this map, looking with that charge that can just delete almost any character that Cypher's bringing to the table with that bull rush.
Cypher has heard him use the teleport, immediately popping the dual wield, going in for the machine gun, just trying to get extra range. Hang on a minute, they're both going to go straight out, double LG in hand, and neither player dead just yet.
Oh, that absolutely down to the wire tracking from Cypher on that lightning gun.
Has to be really careful, though. He hasn't got a lot of HP. He's only sitting on... Well, actually, no, capacity 44 did go up to 50 because of the passive, but it might not be enough. Stermy goes in. He's going to be in crazy with the aggression, but the LG again. Cypher staying alive.
It's almost like as much damage as you can do with that LG in the situation. Cypher is just squeezing out every piece of damage he can from the lightning gun. He's getting so much mileage. He's going to go for the teleporter. Is Stermy waiting for it? It's Scale Bearer, so he does have that massive health pool. But he is looking to take this 1v1. Stermy is down completely, instantly. Cypher very convincingly takes round number 1.
I mean, Cypher's LG has always been super good. I mean, this guy's accuracy in the game in general is unbelievable. But if you're really good at sticking someone with an LG, the damage just becomes unbelievable.
Of course, but I mean, case in point, he just deleted 3 champions, including Scale Bearer.
But I mean,
with ease.
We're this far down the bracket, and that was pretty much one of, if not the fastest round we've seen so far. And 2
my Lord.
Super shotgun blasts is all it takes. Wow. I mean, just annihilated.
I mean, that's just efficiency, right? 2 shots,
oh,
and he goes on the dual wield. This is, I'm not going to say it, significantly more one-sided than I was expecting.
I mean, this is a Wolfenstein round. Blaskovitz just going ham. He don't care.
He gets psyched, he doesn't want to go down, not at all. And there's that LG, Stermy caught between a rock and a hard place.
But he's catching Stermy on spawn every time. It is so difficult for Stermy to get any of his health or armor back up on board. Cypher with this ruthless rushdown.
It's definitely working out for him. He picks up this heavy armor. He hasn't actually gone for it yet. Maybe just trying to bait. Knows it's safe to pick it up.
He's going to hear him pick up that item, but it might not matter. Gets a little bit of checking in with the LG. But I mean, at this stage, Cypher just looking like an animal right now.
Packing himself a rocket for what could be the first time in the set, but it hasn't mattered. He's been doing so much work, but the lightning gun picks up the armor, and wow, Stermy goes down once again. Another swift round goes to Cypher.
Cypher's on the verge of taking this first map 3-0, almost in record time. Like, it's It really shows that even though we're this far in the bracket, a lot of these matches that we've seen, there's been a lot of players being reserved. They're being careful.
Unpredictable.
Cypher is just going in right now. And stermy, though, I mean, but this guy, no slouch. He's been on the back foot before, but you wonder how he's going to recover on this map in particular.
Hey, Cypher's not messing around. No, he's got Blazkowicz. He's really favoring this lightning gun. He's picked this character because he wants to get frags. He doesn't want to give stermy any breathing room whatsoever. Forced to ghost walk early.
I actually really like this. He waited for the ghost walk and then activated his dual wield when he knew he was going to come out of it and had nowhere to run. Speaking of which, catches him with the rocket. stermy, really good use of that double jump actually. Even though he got knocked up, he still used the double jump mid-flight and saved himself from getting hit by that rocket on the ground.
Alright, so both megas have been picked up. They traded it once again. Cypher picks up the heavy armor, stermy with the mega health. Cypher able to try and get some of his life back. These two pickups side by side, going to do more than enough to do so.
Bear in mind, that exchange did take quite a while. If he doesn't survive this exchange, it's only 10 seconds until he gets access to the dual wield again.
Indeed, he just regenerated a little bit of life. And one more pickup's going to do it to top him up. Cypher doing a really good job of just managing this passive, that health regen. When he'll go up to that next 25 health block if he hasn't taken damage for a little while.
Now, this next fight could be really bad for stermy.
Oh my lord!
Oh, and he stayed on the position. Actually, very brave of stermy.
He stole the mega health from stermy. stermy was sitting completely rock solid, and Cypher was able to steal it right from under his feet.
A little part of me was expecting a telefrag there, like, I'm not going to lie. I expected him to sort of come out and maybe actually secure a frag, even if it may not have been intentional or whatever. Either way, Cypher just a bit of a bully in this game so far.
Oh, there's the dual wheel pop. stermy a little bit too far away, unfortunately wasted by Cypher. Maybe he expected stermy to run towards him in that situation.
Definitely the first time in this match that we have seen an unsuccessful dual wield from Cypher. Normally he's been on the money with that.
And there's the rockets coming through, but the LG, look how much damage he does so quickly. Cypher's accuracy with that LG has been insane.
It's almost like he's playing like a gentleman that has been recently sponsored by a major team.
I wonder why. Could it be he knows a thing or two about Quake?
Manages to secure that heavy armor. But stermy, I think, I like the fact that he's been able to sort of like play that defensive game better, but it does kind of still feel like Cypher has been in control of these pickups.
And there's that silent movement. He knows this mega health is up and coming. He doesn't want to give it away that he's down there. stermy hasn't seen him. Picks up in case, and there we go. He's right on his head.
Oh, we have seen him go for the ghost walk. Is stermy going to continue? He is very brave, pushes the advantage, but doesn't really get a huge amount of damage on the table. Cypher still with 50 HP.
Oh, stermy is able to bring that one out this time. It wouldn't like to be such a one-sided game. stermy has managed to finally throw a spanner in the works and bring things back to a bit of an even playing field.
He's playing confidently now. I mean, like, you know, those first two rounds were crazy dominant, but he's done a really good job of just sort of slowing down the pace. He's going to have to go in for the mega, but Cypher knows it. And again, forcing that ghost walk out of Cypher.
And Cypher chasing, yes.
But he's very weak. I mean, he can't really chase. He definitely has to try and go back and get some help. He gets tagged by anything at this health and he's dead.
Now, this is when it could get a little bit dangerous for Cypher, because for the first time in the map, stermy is able to control both of these mega pickups. And when you've got both this next mirror match, they haven't got a lot of health to go with at all. If you're constantly overstacked, and they aren't, you could be in a very, very positive situation.
But on a map like this, the LG and the rocket are both so prominent weapons that people are going to use. However, he didn't actually see him through the wall. Maybe a little bit too late. Nice. That ghost walk actually, I think, saved him from the rocket right there.
Well, mega health is there. They traded out. Who picked that up? I can't quite see. Yeah, Cypher. No, Cypher. No, yeah, stermy.
Yeah, it was stermy. These mirror matches. Really good call, though. Very brave. Like, stermy is playing incredibly brave. Like, he is very bold, calculated decisions, and just because he's a couple of rounds down, it's not really affecting his decision-making.
There we go, pick up some of that rocket ammo just to top himself up a little bit.
Just trying to sort of control the LG, stay topped up as much as possible. Because even if one Nyx is down on health, because both of them can't really take rockets, they can't take all this health, sometimes you don't really start it. Speaking of which, actually collecting the mega, very pivotal. Going in for the ghost walk, maybe trying to relocate, maybe catch him off guard, but they couldn't be further away from the map if they tried.
Right now, this is a good situation for stermy. The 1 minute warning has started. In 1 minute's time, if stermy doesn't lose a champion, he's going to win on timeout, because he does have more champions than Cypher, but he goes in for the fight.
However, he's gone in for ghost walk. No doubt Cypher is going to chase this, I think. He really can't take any chances. He needs to get a frag, otherwise he's going to lose to timeout.
Oh, he's chasing him down, and there we go. Cypher swaps to LG at the last minute. And now we find ourselves stopwatch. Yes, the mega health is gone. He caught him on the spawn again, but he pops his dual wield instantly, and even with the start machine gun, you can see how much damage he can put out.
Doesn't actually matter, though. It's not going to be enough. Not when Cypher's landing lightning gun the way he is. And it's looking likely we're going to go into a sudden death, unless we see a frag in the next fight.
It's a shame that Cypher's lost his Blazkowicz already, because considering how accurate he is with the LG, Blazkowicz is just the perfect character for taking that accuracy and just making it so lethal.
But I think that's why he picks Blazkowicz first, because he knows he has the accuracy in the mid-air. Saying a thing or two about accuracy, and that's going to go to timeout. There's no way stermy can catch him fast enough.
And that right there is Quake, because stermy had the lead the entire round. The entire time he was in the lead in that final round, but Cypher in the last clutch, 20 or so seconds, able to get 2 frags back to back, mid-air rockets, LGs, all the good stuff.
I think the mid-air rocket was almost like a nice way to sort of tidy up that game, because Cypher, I mean, like, I don't even know, was stermy even ready for a playstyle that aggressive? Because at the blink of an eye, both
didn't mess around. He didn't mess around. You know, we're seeing that a lot by players already today. They'll kind of have their little skirmishes as soon as they start losing certain amounts of health or sort of get out. Cypher didn't do that. He just went in all the way with that dual-wield lightning gun as soon as he was there. And he was obviously hovering around that part of the map a lot more because he was really favouring that weapon, especially the mega health too, because they're so close together. But yeah, like you said, I just don't know if stermy was ready for that kind of aggression.
Well, I feel like if you play a character like Blazkowicz, I mean, like, I think there's a very distinct reason we see Cypher pick Blazkowicz first. It's almost like an indication of almost like the playstyle he's going to try and adapt, because if he's picking Blazkowicz first, it's because he wants to frag you once and then immediately on your next spawn, like, rush you the whole game. Because we saw it in the first 2 rounds. So it's almost like if we see Blazkowicz again, is that almost going to be like a low-key giveaway to the playstyle that Cypher might adapt?
That's almost like a best-case scenario situation for Blazkowicz. If he can kill you without his ability, and then it comes up, you know, off cooldown right as you respawn and he can catch you. That's almost like 2 guaranteed frags back to back, provided you have the accuracy, which we've seen quite a lot of Blazkowicz today. But that was the first time we've seen Blazkowicz used to, like, what I feel like his ability's full potential, where you pop it and you've got the lightning gun and they die straight up. I think that's the first time we've seen it quite as consistently there.
But catching someone on a respawn with that, I think, is probably the most effective way you're going to see it activated. Because normally when people counter the Blazkowicz dual wield, it's because they see it and they either outrun it or they tag him with something, you know, that they've already picked up, like it's a rocket launcher or a railgun, just to sort of establish that space and go, right, I've just taken this massive bit of damage. Even though I'm dual wielding, if I go in here, I'm going to die, so I'm going to have to run away. If you catch someone on spawn, there's just no physical way that can possibly happen. And it's almost like a free frag.
Especially if you know what weapons nearby, right?
Sure.
Like if you see him and you know the rocket's not there, or the even on that stage there's no rail, right? So if you can see that they aren't in a situation to do it. Going to Ruins of Sarnath. Now this is an interesting one because we saw Cypher take the first week's 125 FPS Cup with Galena on this map.
Slash immediately going in. Now Slash is very fast, right? She is one of the fastest champions in the game. She navigates this map in particular really well, I think, because of all these little sort of twists and turns. However, amidst those twists and turns are corridors where you can use her crouch slide really effectively. So I think, you know, seeing Slash, I believe this actually might even be, like, is it the first? I'm pretty sure this is the first time I've seen Slash picked on stream today.
Today, yes, it's the first Slash we've seen for sure. And I'm quite happy to see that, because Slash has that insanely just zany movement, right? You know, that speed, and you use the ability, the area denial it can give with the trail. You know, how many times have we seen someone, like, you know, chase someone down, chase a kill? You can't really do that against Slash if you're low, because you run into that damage over time. If it explodes, it's massive amounts of damage. But also when you know, like, a big power-up, you know, spawn, you can kind of, you know, pop it and run around in circles just to
definitely
sort of
a lot more prominent in Sacrifice, I think.
Yeah, exactly.
The ability to sort of deny areas.
Which is why I expect we might be seeing her a little bit on Sacrifice in a couple of days' time. But in Duel, we just never see her, you know, unless I'm just not watching the right players, but she just doesn't seem picked up commonly at all.
Well, while we get this match loading up, we're going to probably see what Cypher has in store. So he had a really aggressive game number 1 versus stermy. Although the final round of that match, stermy had signs of life and he was looking a lot better. There's no getting around the fact those 2 rounds were like destruction.
I think it's because he was able to get Blazkowicz away from Cypher early in that last round, and it really did a big difference. But that's the whole point of the duels here, right? You can't just deal with one champion. You take out Cypher's Blazkowicz, you've got to deal with his nicks.
Now Cypher, once again, to the surprise of nobody, started with the Blazkowicz, even though he picked Slash first. Bear in mind, just because you pick a champion first in the select, that doesn't mean you are tied to that champion. You can still pick whoever you want at the start.
But starting with Scalebearer, though, this could be interesting. If you can get a good bull rush, you can get this deletion. Also sitting there, missed a rail. That could have been a good opportunity to get a chunk of damage away from stermy, who's already looking really stacked on armor and health.
That's 2 rails he hasn't connected just yet. So stermy's still going to be nicely stacked up on that health and armor.
All connects this one, though. Eats away most of that armor, but still quite healthy. Oh, direct rocket, that's going to do it.
That'll do it.
Impressive.
Actually did manage to sort of get saved quite heavily because he takes reduced damage while he's in that charge. Bear in mind, the rail wouldn't have killed, but it definitely would have put him in a much worse situation.
He also was able to rush straight through the mega health, so he was able to get himself in a good situation after that fight as well. So good awareness from stermy to get out of there. Another good rail again. Cypher, his accuracy really starting to show.
Again, being really careful. You got to look at it. 8 seconds left on that mega health respawn. You wonder if Stermy's just going to kind of let him take it, or whether Cypher's going to grab it for free.
I mean, both armor and health are up soon, so maybe he's going to concede it.
We haven't seen the LG used just yet. Cypher has got it available though, so no doubt we'll see that when he has his dual wield available, which is actually now. Talking about when he has him in a fight next.
He was trying to bait there. He was just trying to wait, but Stermy playing very patient, but not near any of the big pickups.
I think he caught Cypher, but I don't think Stermy's quite seen him. Managed to surprise him now. Can Stermy survive this? Even with the bull rush, it might not be enough, and just like that, he was taking reduced damage, and it didn't matter.
But that's the power of Blazkowicz, right? You know, it's a half damage reduction you take when you're doing that bull rush, but if you've got that dual wield, you're still taking almost full damage from single lightning on that whole time, and if you have the accuracy on the tracking like Cypher does, that is death.
Gets forced away from that mega health, but I mean, heavy armor, it's just up. He's going to take that, no problem.
Now Stermy finds himself with Nyx. He has to be careful though. Uh-oh, not like this. Oh, that follow-up. 2 quick ones.
That was actually a really sick jump as well. He uses the jump pad and then exaggerates his height with the rocket jump.
He can hear him, but I don't think he's seen him yet. Health is up now. Wonderful. Cypher there, ready to pick it up.
I think what we're seeing from Cypher right now is just a level of execution that doesn't really come. It doesn't come by often, you know what I mean?
All misses a rail though. Uncharacteristic for him to miss shots, but at the same time, Stermy, this is that Blazkowicz mirror to finish things off, and Stermy has a bit of a mountain to climb.
If a character's going to make a comeback though, if one of these champions can make a comeback, it's going to be
oh no, he blows himself up.
I wonder if that's enough. Both champions quite weak, but Cypher only on 4 HP. He needs to get out of there. Then again,
like that 50 off one pickup, insane.
I think that's a really good actually ability though, where he sort of like regenerates to his next 25 HP. If you are in the middle of your regeneration at like no health, and then you pick up a health, it's basically a 50 health pickup.
Especially if you can get it in that sort of perfect moment once it started. Question is, does Cypher know he's down there? We can see him, but Cypher doesn't. Okay, he topped himself up again. Full health, full armor. This is what he needs.
Again, very patient game. Against Cypher, he can afford to be conservative if he wants to, but to be honest, I'm not really sure we're going to see Cypher be too conservative at all. He's been so aggressive the whole set.
Nice shot from Stermy though. Always pop the dual wield. He's chasing, he's going for the kill. He's trying to get away as fast as he can. Is Stermy chasing? Not quite as much as we thought.
I think he tried to, but I just don't think he could get a grasp on where Cypher was going to go. Again, Cypher though, I mean, you just look at it, right? He's got all 3 champions left. Stermy only down to his final champion, which is going to be Blazkowicz, but...
Oh, 87, that's quite a chunk. He's just trying to keep him away from this mega health. Does he go back in for it? Stermy probably too low to contest.
That's going to be a free mega health. Look at the clock. 1 minute 10. Cypher with the 3 champions up. He can really afford to be patient if he wants to.
Oh, he was waiting for him. He saw him. Wasn't quite there in time. And Stermy's going to get the return kill. Cypher, unfortunately, missing a couple of rockets that could have sealed the deal.
I mean, a Blazkowicz with an ability, that is... 1 minute is more than enough time to even things out, at the very least. Like, at this stage, to stay in this game, he doesn't need to frag both. He just needs to take out the Nyx.
Oh, there's the Ghost Walk on reaction, though. Stermy trying to make a read on where he is. Oh, he did see him.
Yeah, he thought he was going to use the teleport, but he didn't. Maybe he thought he was going to run towards the mega health. But that does mean that Cypher can only possibly have little health left.
And he won't have his ability either. There's that rope. He gets him. Oh, he is, and that's even things up. Stermy making this one character comeback, and Cypher is forced onto Slash for the first time in this series.
But I mean, you almost ignore the timer at this stage. He's now got heavy armor. He's got his ability left to go. And Cypher, bear in mind, he's not Nyx. He's not going to have Ghost Walk. If he gets caught in a bad spot against the Blazkowicz with an ability, it's going to be the round.
This does sound like it could be quite dangerous. You've got Blazkowicz, who's just built to frag. He gets those kills very quickly, especially if you've got the accuracy that Stermy definitely has. And Cypher Slash, we haven't seen it today. Expecting some unpredictability.
Ever so slightly misses the rail, misses the second one, so both players. Blazkowicz has got the health advantage, but I mean, to be honest,
this is just round 1 in the second game as well. My word.
Manages to take the heavy armor again. Bear in mind, Cypher's going to do as much as he can to not be in close quarters. Not against Blazkowicz.
All out of opportunity going in. He's popped his dual wield. He's going in. The rail. Quite connect. Unfortunately, wasted from Stermy. Cypher got a little bit of a lifeline while he waits for that to come back. But
well, at the very least, it is going to guarantee that mega health. So that's going to be, you know, there are sort of little victories you can take even if you do lose your ability. Sometimes it's not about getting the frag. It's about trying to secure an objective. In this case, the objective was mega health.
Always knocking him off that armor, but is able to pick it up anyway. Big advantage for Stermy in this situation. Cypher trying to get away. Oh no, both of them missing rails.
I think actually uncharacteristic for both of them. Again, a lot of rails not coming through. I mean, they're trying to move so quickly. Speaking of which, Cypher coming straight through with his ability. That's going to be down. Catches the rail. All he has to do is land one more.
Oh, missed that one too. This could be a return kill from Cypher. He clips the edge and steals the round away. stermy was in the process of making such a good comeback, but Cypher just says, absolutely not.
That rail went straight through the plant pot. Just caught him. That was an epic kill.
Foliage finish. Execution.
Either way, that was just round number 1.
Oh my lord, it was. Round 2, let's go. Cypher back on Blazkowicz.
Yeah, Cypher, like I said, he's 1 game up. So all he has to do is win this game and he's going to move on in the bracket. But stermy, I think even though that first game was super rough, I really think that stermy's done a good job of sort of recovering and putting this one back. Bear in mind, Ruins of Sarnath was his pick for the map.
That's a good point. We can see here, stermy, Cypher's trying to set the trap like a coiled viper.
He's literally just waiting. But Hank, stermy just knew he was there.
Oh my, he held on to his dual wield as well. He now has this. As soon as he fights, if he can find stermy here, that's going to be almost very difficult to deal with. But it's going to be a return. This is a straight up. They're going for it together.
But hang on a minute. stermy has the range, but not compared to the railgun. I was almost prepared to see stermy take that frag right there because he
only had that starting machine gun. Oh, the bull rush stops him in his tracks, 150 damage, and there we go. After how down to the wire, even overtime on round 1, Cypher is able to quickly and instantly just destroy those 3 champions.
I was prepared for stermy to actually frag Cypher up by the mega health when he had the SMGs, because he actually had more range than lightning.
I mean, he had like 15 health left, so if he hit like 1 more set of bullets, that was probably going to be it.
But at the last minute, Cypher just decided to switch to his rail, and it worked out. But actually, 2 very confident rails. And that first frag we saw in round number 1, where he got that rail frag, if he missed that rail, he's pretty much dead, because he can't
switching though, Cypher starts with Nyx this time, despite how well, disastrous that last round was for stermy.
I mean, if he's match point up, right, and he has to win 1 more round, his use of Nyx has been quite minimal so far. We haven't seen a lot of it. So I feel like maybe he's trying to sort of throw that extra spanner in the works. Again, using it aggressively. stermy doesn't know he's popped it. Catches him in the air, and another combo knocking him off the ground. Nothing he can do. And Cypher, this Nyx change, looking really fruitful in this round.
That was really good. Used it aggressively. We actually see more mileage off the Ghost Walk, but it's used in that aggressive style. There's that dual wheel popped by stermy again. Cypher misses the rail. stermy is alive.
Only just, I think, to be honest. Bear in mind, there's a lot of confident plays, but this Nyx pick, I think, presumably maybe to just throw stermy off. Really interrupt his... If we've seen Blazkowicz at the first of almost every round, using Nyx at the start of the final round, I mean, that's going to throw off someone's flow.
Oh, almost lands the air shot. Hits the second one, though. Mega health there to keep Cypher alive. Definitely has the health advantage right now.
Again, using phase shift, but I don't think he knows where he is. Maybe predicting he's going to be down by the heavy armor. He is actually correct. He's going to pick up that armor. This is a great situation for Cypher. Even though he's taken the rail, he's just got 100 armor for his trouble.
And near a couple of health packs, so he is going to be able to bring himself up to max again already. Again, stermy finds himself with no armor, which can be disastrous if you get hit by a rocket or a rail.
And again, Cypher. He's going to be that champion up. So even though we're not that far into the round, if he wants to, start being defensive. But he just went a million miles into the air.
Yeah, if Cypher was able to squeeze in that corridor at the last minute, that could have been a nice follow-up. Caught some serious air there.
Just trying to listen out. Actually, really good read. He heard that the teleporter hadn't been used, so he knew the only place he could have gone was far distance.
Oh, and there's the Ghost Walk. He knows he's to the left somewhere. Is he going to catch him? Can he make this work?
Oh, uses the dual wield in retaliation. Is it going to be enough? Tries to go straight through. It doesn't work out. stermy, really nice reactions, actually, waiting for the phase shift to disappear, and that's when he pops dual wield. And at that point, Cypher, he had to go all in. He wasn't going to escape. He was too close.
It was a very brave play, though, to Ghost Walk into a Blazkowicz that has his dual wield ready. I mean, that was only going to end one way for either of them. Cypher, you know, respect the bravery to go in for that.
Cypher does manage to take it, but again gets fragged. Caught in a bad position. Getting caught underground with a rocket launcher. Definitely one of the most dangerous parts of any map to get caught by a rocket launcher if you don't have one.
Yes, now Cypher finds himself backed against the wall for the first time here. And he's got this Blazkowicz to take out the Mirror and also Scalebearer.
Immediately has to retreat from that one. It's going to be a free mega health for stermy. However, we've seen the damage that Cypher can do when he has Blazkowicz on deck, and now this is pretty much his anchor character. You know, this is the character he's using at the last minute. He can totally take these 2 frags. stermy has got to be careful.
Jump pad comes through as well. stermy looking really strong so far. And 2 minutes left in this round. There's the rail. Oh, hits one of his own. Cypher in a really bad situation right here. Picks up a little bit of armor, but still very low on health.
Both of these players are going to have access to dual wield. I guess the question is, who's going to pop it first? take that mega health again.
I mean, right now it's looking all stermy. He has control of the mega health, seemingly the armor as well. Cypher's there waiting for him.
He used it preemptively. He knew he was going to come down. But with 6 HP left, stermy survives. That was a really good call. I mean, like, by the time he'd jumped down, Cypher had already had it ready. Like, he knew stermy was going to come down there. He was ready for it, but it just came down to the fight being in the favor of stermy because stermy came from the mega health. He had that extra health. He had that advantage over Cypher, and it was just really good aim. That easily could have gone pear-shaped.
So despite winning the first 2 rounds when he started with Blaskovic, Cypher's gone back to Nyx to start with. Definitely confident in this.
Well, it worked out really well. Just came down to, you know, just a couple of really good plays on the side of stermy. He's going to chase it. Oh, doesn't quite catch him.
Just walks away. Cypher just gets out of dodge instead of chasing. Just wants to get some sort of ground recovered, I suppose.
Didn't catch him using the phase shift, and Cypher with that sneak attack. Uh-oh.
Stopwatch.
I don't think that might necessarily be because these are Nyx, so we're going to have to quickly resolve this.
I believe this happened last time we were on. Ruins of Sarnath, so it could be a map thing. Regardless, we're probably going to remake this lobby and get that sorted, because last time this happened, we did just remake the lobby and it was fine. So I assume we'll remake the game and get the rounds back to the way they were and start from scratch, most likely.
Well, unfortunately, I guess that's just the nature of a beta. Bear in mind, Quake Champions is in its beta stages, so unexpected technical, I guess, flumps might happen here and there. It's a shame that it happened during the match, because I mean, that was a super close match, and Cypher being 1 round up. All he needed as well was 1 round to move on. But he's going to be a game up regardless of what happens. But obviously, we'll keep you guys updated when we find out what's happening from an admin standpoint. It's likely that it's going to be 2-1 to Cypher, and we're simply just going to restart the round. So we're going to get that basically restarted and good to go as soon as possible. But what we saw in that match so far...
Might take a little bit of setup just so the players can, you know, obviously deliberately kill each other to set things back. So it might be a few minutes.
Recreate the match.
Might be a few minutes just to recreate it. But I mean, to be fair, we've got plenty to talk about. That already has been a really good series. Cypher Blaskovic has been, I think, the MVP of this entire series so far. Like the accuracy on the LG and just the tracking has been really scary.
But I feel like some of these players have been able to almost like put some of their personal impressions on some of these champions. Like Cypher, he's a very sort of aggressive player in Quake Champions. But Blaskovic, I feel like if you're going to play any of the champions in the game and you are like a rush-based player that's just going to go in there and take out one of your champions and then get a good read or a good reaction on spawn if you can hear them appear, and then, you know, just completely like snowball the rounds. Blaskovic is pretty much the absolute best champion that can help you achieve that, and I think Cypher knows that.
I think so too. I mean, let's not forget. I mean, sort of just props for already becoming so capable with the character. Let's not forget Blaskovic was only available at E3, so it's been like a couple of weeks or so.
Well, he's the newest champion. You know, he is absolutely the newest champion in the game. So it's, even though, you know, I guess these really veteran Quake players like stermy and Cypher will both, they'll pick things up really quickly in the game. You know, whether it's a new map, whether it's a new champion, you know, give them a day or two and they'll pretty much figure out the kinks already. I mean, look what we've seen with people with Clutch already. We saw some really good demonstrations.
That's true. New Clutch is like 2 days old, if that.
And people are already doing well.
It's already seeing some amazing stuff and almost like optimal stuff, right? Already have these crazy jumps and these crazy sort of movement tricks already sorted out. But Cypher, let's not forget, you know, recently today picked up by Virtus Pro. Huge congratulations. And clearly his play is showing why that is.
Oh, he's doing those guys proud, no doubt.
A force to be reckoned with within Quake Champions. And he has a prominent career in this game ahead if he's doing this well already. And this is just week 1. You know, if he goes on to qualify for the regionals already, you know, as I think he's very much a favourite to do so. Looking good to do that. You know, against stermy. It's like he's against, you know, bad competition. This is stermy in his way.
But he looks unfazed, right? But that's one of the elements is when you are, you know, when it's a top player going up against another top player, you kind of just have to show a level of fearlessness. You know, you still need to go, right, even though my competition is very good, I still know what I need to do, and I can't let that phase me. Because the second you get that bit of doubt in your mind, especially in a 1v1 game, bear in mind, you know, this is duel, we're going to have sacrifice later in the week, but this tonight is going to be the 1v1 duel tournament. In a 1v1, it's pretty much all about your opponent. In the higher level, yes, the champions are there, and yes, the maps have general go-to strategies and you know, paths that you take when you spawn and stuff like that. It's always going to come down to who you're fighting, you know, who you're playing against, because they're the ones that are going to be making those reads, those decisions. You know, they're the ones that are going to bait those traps at the health and the armor. Like, it always comes down to the individual player. So you just can't get phased. You can't get phased.
Speaking of baiting traps, Cypher Galena. We saw this in week 1 of 125 FPS on Ruins of Sarnath, so I kind of half expect to see it again today, really showing how scary this character can be, particularly on certain maps. Do you think we might see that today?
I guess it depends on how things are going. I feel like...
Well, also, who would you swap it with? Because all the characters that Cypher's using right now, we're seeing the least amount of impact on the Slash, But I think it's because he keeps having to fight it into Blazkowicz, who really just shreds you down, and Slash doesn't have that instant escape option. You know, she's got the speed, and she can run. If Blazkowicz is accurate, he can really, you know, sort of keep track of you on the way.
But maybe that's going to be like one of Slash's, I don't want to say drawbacks, because it's definitely not a drawback, because it can still function as an ability to get her away. But if you're playing as Nyx, like against, you know, just we're using Blazkowicz as a set example. If Blazkowicz is going to pop the dual wield, if he's playing as a fellow Blazkowicz, he can almost pop his and then they'll, you know, collide and fight.
We've already seen that,
which we already saw. If it is Nyx, Nyx can basically see the dual wield and then pop the ghost mode and completely get away from that situation as well because she becomes invincible. You know, Slash, the second she sees that, she can maybe try and escape. She can sort of circle jump into the ability, but at the same time, Lightning Gun has so much range. He's still going to pretty much lock on and chase her as she's trying to run away. So I feel like in this match in particular, I feel like Slash hasn't done the most of them, but I feel like that might just be a champion matchup thing. It's pretty much always going into Blazkowicz.
It could be, but one thing I'd like to see from Cypher is some more of this Blazkowicz play, though, because
it clearly works.
In the first 2 rounds of this second map, we saw him go with Blazkowicz first, which really did put a lot of, well, I suppose like a real exclamation point on the round.
But it puts pressure on as well. Like, you know, as the rounds are progressing, like Cypher is looking more and more dominant. If you're stermy in that situation, I mean, he'd picked the map, but even after he'd changed the map and picked himself into a more advantageous situation, Cypher was still, you know, up on rounds. So when you're in that situation, it's like, well, what is my adaptation? He only has 1 round to decide what he should and shouldn't be doing.
Of course, but hopefully we get back into this game as soon as we can. We're just remaking the map, so it's going to be the same rounds as we were just about to get into. Fortunately, this bug occurred early on into the life bar, so it should be easy enough to replicate. We just got to get the players back into the lobby. They go back. Actually, to believe, but yeah, we're going to get them back in now, so they're probably going to pick the same draft and put themselves back to the same rounds they were at beforehand.
It's about resetting the rounds, putting themselves back into that exact same situation. So we're going to see Slash, Blazkowicz, and Nyx. And on the side of stermy, we are going to see Scalebearer once again.
There we go. Scalebearer being a bit of an up and down pick so far today. Definitely a common pick we see in duels, but for some reason today specifically hasn't really made much of an impact.
I guess there's a couple of reasons for that, you know, but I think, you know, a big one might just be sometimes it just comes down to how the players play on the day, you know. I mean, like, you know, early on in the tournament we said we've seen some saw lags, but they didn't seem to be majorly impactful. But then on the flip side...
Then we saw Luminous.
We saw Luminous, exactly that. So, you know, it's just because... And actually on the flip side as well, we saw Blazkowicz used a lot, but it's only now we've seen Cypher's Blazkowicz, where it's really been like, wow, this champion is like making such a major difference. I think sometimes it just comes down to the player. But while you guys are watching and while we get the rounds reset, ready to go in for what should be the final, or could be the final round of this set between stermy and Cypher, this is the European Qualifier for the Quake World Championship. We are far in this bracket now. However, determining who makes the regionals does not happen today. Today will determine essentially the top 16 players that will then play again on Sunday. And on Sunday, every single match those guys play will determine who makes it to EU regionals and who has to play next week.
3, 2,
Alright, so we're going back into this map. I assume they're just going to be, yeah, they're probably just going to deliberately throw this round back down to the scoreline it was when we finished. So it should take him a little while to do so.
Okay, so a quick update. I did actually notice this and check with our production folks. These guys are actually playing the matchup completely, a complete and utter rematch.
Wow, that is that is okay. So they're gonna resume the score, but they're gonna finish early if they need to.
Oh, I see. That's how they're doing it. Okay, that makes sense.
Fair enough. Thank you very much, production. But let's get back into this
giving me that
match.
piece of information. So I guess they're essentially playing the final round, and this might potentially be the final round, regardless of what happens.
I see.
They get so confusing, Mustard.
Well, Cypher has started with Blazkowicz this time instead, so he actually is going to go hard with that first character, the one that did so much work in the first 2 rounds of the last game before we had to reset. So going back in for that confidence, right, that aggression, Blazkowicz is where all of that comes from.
Yeah, bear in mind this is going to be a fresh new round, so Cypher going in for that Blazkowicz immediately. You totally understand the decision.
Oh, it goes straight in. Is that going to be it?
The phase shift comes through. Opts the rocket jump and try and get out of that bad situation. I think he doesn't want to stay there.
That was actually crucial, though. That was really crucial.
Trying to follow it through. Here comes Cypher again, but I mean, like, it's actually quite bold that he stayed there. If he got tagged by a rail, it would have been not good.
Indeed, but during that last sort of skirmish, Nyx was able to pick up the mega health, was able to top herself up, even though she took a ton of rocket damage.
Again, back to this sort of slow pace on what could be a final round. I mean, sometimes you understand why the players are being quite patient. But it's a very explosive round. The second they put themselves in a situation they feel like they can take, I mean, Cypher in particular does tend to run with it. But stermy he has done a really good job of slowing that pace down. You know Cypher just wants to play this game at 1,000 miles an hour, and stermy is just saying no.
Indeed, but speaking of which, this has really been slowed down. Cypher trying to look around right now. Doesn't have max armor yet, but a little bit uncharacteristic. Normally Cypher's been sort of rushing so far, but I think now he's not afraid to take his time.
Oh,
hang on!
Caught him mid-air. Good prediction on the teleporter when he did it. Importantly, Cypher has now been knocked off of Blazkowicz.
Indeed, now Cypher's gone back to the slash, which haven't seen do too much yet, but no doubt Cypher has a reason for picking this character, and obviously when you are as good of a player as he is, I'm sure he can make it work.
However, that rail's going to hurt big time. Cypher forced to get away.
On the rail, a little bit of damage coming out from the super nail gun. Good zoning from Cypher, and now that rocket's going to connect.
Comes straight through.
Stermy got a bit of lifeline. He's getting chased down though. Cypher is rushing him.
I think he definitely knows when to go and lands a rocket as well. But again, you very rarely see someone chase down those stairs. I mean, that is such a choke point for someone who's just waiting on the other end of the rocket launcher. Definitely not worth the risk, I don't think. But Cypher still staying confident. He's still making bold decisions. Bear in mind, he is match point up right now. All he has to do is win this round. For those that may just be joining us due to a connection, just to a technical issue, we actually has had to restart the match, which means that this could be the last round for Cypher if he lands this round.
Oh, the mega health goes to Cypher though, so even though he wasn't able to get the kill on Stermy, he did take this power up for himself, which is good. Heavy armor's coming up soon. Cypher's going in for it.
Catches it again, but is it going to be enough? The rockets haven't done a huge amount of damage. Misses the rail. However, Stermy does not have enough health to fight. He's got to get some health quickly.
If we know that's the armor situation is going to be quite dire for him. No, Cypher knows he's likely to go for the armor shards and tries to catch him.
Oh, this is the rail again. Both players fail to connect, going straight through with the LG. Bold stuff, but now with a 20 health Nyx.
Oh, what a shot! That was close stuff. Cypher now forced to make this one champion comeback. Nyx versus the world.
I mean, she can definitely make it happen. However, Stermy looking really good on this LG. Yeah, Cypher just taking that armor for free, but again, actually trading a Ghost Walk for a Ghost Walk, and Cypher from the top, straight through the top of the head with that rail.
That was played so well. As soon as Cypher saw they had his Ghost Walk popped, he followed him, didn't let him get the armor, went to where he thought he was going to go and popped his own just to have that unpredictability, and it paid out perfectly, and Cypher takes a clean kill. Stermy now on the scale barrier. This could be dangerous.
Yeah, Cypher catches. Right, he just got telefragged. Ouch.
Oh, wow, indeed. That's dangerous. Oh, no, or was that the charge? Did he charge through the teleporter?
That looked like a telefrag to me. It looked like he was waiting on the other side, and big old chunky scale bearer just appeared on him, and he died.
But we've been seeing Cypher sort of get really close, up close and personal, and that one situation didn't quite work out. Cypher's now gone back to this next start instead.
Okay, bear in mind, it was 2-1 before. Now it's going to be 2-2. Bear in mind, we had to restart this match, which means that the score count you can see right now does not reflect the match that we just played. If Stermy wins this, he moves on, it will be 1-1. And if Cypher wins this, he moves on and eliminates Stermy.
Oh, catches him again. Cypher falls for it back to back. It makes you think that Cypher really needed to get through. He needed to get close to that mega health. And wow, Stermy with a psychic rocket launcher and is rewarded with a mega health for his read.
Stermy, I mean, he really has done such a good job of just taking the pace of the match and slowing it down. It's really catching Cypher off guard in some of these areas. But it's also coming down to really good accuracy from Stermy. Cypher is not playing the chunkiest champions. They haven't got a huge amount of health or armor. None of them do. So if he catches those 100 damage rockets consistently, there really isn't much his champions can do to survive unless Nyx has a Ghost Walk, and that's basically the only compromise.
There's the mega health. See what Cypher's looking for. Maybe trying to catch him here.
Again, Stermy's going to be super patient. He knows now that all he has to do is win this round and he's going to tie things up 1-1. Cypher has to make this comeback now. Funny enough, Cypher having as much momentum as he's had in this entire set, now he's the one that has to make a comeback.
Indeed, trying to navigate these lower levels. Oh, what a rail, Cypher. Wow, with the reactions.
It's definitely going to force him off to some of the armor. Not sure that... There comes the sneaky stealth. Didn't see him though, didn't get anything off it, but he does land a sneaky rail as well.
Good shot from Stermy. Cypher going to chase. I think he has the health to take a rail, but not much more than that.
We have another fight.
Through. Cypher getting aggressive again, but he gets the heavy armor. This could be disastrous. Stermy's still going to try and get away, though. Even having all that armor, if you haven't got a lot of health, you will still get fragged.
You know, Cypher was just really looking for that one rocket to connect. At that point, Stermy had like 17 health. He couldn't take anything. However, taking this heavy armor might be really important. Again, using the phase shift, he's going to come straight through. Will he manage to land an attack? Cypher tries to get out of there, uses the crouch slide, does manage to evade. Both players on such little health.
Literally, Cypher just picked up that armor, and if he didn't pick it up, that rail would have annihilated him. Cypher with that just absolute Hail Mary.
However, only Slash would have had the mobility on that sort of crouch slide to get that burst of speed around the corner for that split-second armor pickup.
Stermy can see that trail, so he knows where Cypher's likely to be. There's that skirmish. Oh, misses the rail. That could have been a guaranteed damage. Cypher is able to swoop through and pick up the mega health.
Yeah, on top of a missed rail, that's going to be a free mega health. Cypher definitely straight back in this. But again, Stermy sitting on the champion advantage. But to be honest, the match is going so quickly, I definitely don't expect this one to go to a timeout.
Oh, of course, and there might be 2 minutes left to go on this timer. But these are aggressive champions.
Slash and Nyx, definitely two of the fastest champions.
Well, again, Cypher, you can tell Cypher really wants to just rush him down, force that Ghost Walk out of him, or call that bluff.
Catches one rocket, make that two, catches three. Cypher again gets fragged. He's down to his final champion. Can Blazkowicz make this comeback?
I'm not sure, but let's not forget, currently, this is 2 rounds to 2. We had to restart the lobby. If Stermy can take this champion away, we're going to go to a game 3.
Bear in mind, if we go to a game 3, Cypher will be in control of what map we play. He could definitely just go back to the Corrupted Keep.
Well, again, there's the dual wheel coming through, but no, Stermy with that one champion victory coming through. And that brings us down to what is basically 1 map apiece. So like you said, Cypher's now going to have the option to change if he wants to. So his very dominant first map win on Corrupted Keep, he now has the option to go back there if he wants to, or he could try something completely different.
So it's kind of crazy, really. I feel like when the almost like the restart happened of that match, I feel like it took away some of the momentum from Cypher. Like he was riding that train so convincingly, but Stermy, when he went straight back in, I feel like it just may have inadvertently just given him that time he needed to sit there, cool off, and think about, right, what have I got to do? Because bear in mind, Cypher, even though this guy is a champion of many different Quakes, at the same time, Stermy is no joke. He's no slouch. So he's gonna have what it takes to sit there and go, right, I need to adapt here. I need to make adjustments. And I think a big adjustment was just the change of pace. He was just sort of playing very slow, very calculated, letting Cypher run into areas he kind of knows he's going to run into. But a big part of it was just patience. Stermy was so patient on that.
Speaking of having time in between to really reflect and think about what's going on, the time right now, while we're here talking, is time these players have to sit there and do that, right? They have to deliberate and go, okay, what am I doing wrong? What's happening here? And Cypher, I don't expect we'll see Slash again. It just didn't seem to work out for him. I have no doubt he has like a terrific Slash, but at the same time, it just didn't work out for him in the matchup there. She seemed really vulnerable. The speed increase saved her once, but ultimately she still died. I'm just not sure if it's quite as valuable as perhaps some other champions that I know he can probably play.
Well, if Cypher feels like he's got an ace or two ready to go, we may see the Slash pick again. Either way, I have no doubt we're going to see a map change. The first time these guys collided was on the Corrupted Keep, and it was a dominant performance for Cypher. Like the first 2 rounds just went in the blink of an eye. Like they went straight past.
Makes you worry though. Wonder though, I should say, if Stermy wasn't ready for that aggression last time, which almost caught him off guard and cost him the first couple of rounds.
But now he is, right? Maybe
now he's probably going to be a bit more inclined to be ready for it. But at the same time, ready or not, Cypher was ready to destroy in that map. Corrupted Keep definitely was looking super strong, so I expect we might see him go back to it. I can't imagine we'll see the same map, because it seemed to be that once Stermy had all that space to work around with, he kind of had all the escape options possible, really, to get away.
Yeah, definitely. Now, I guess the question is, do we see Corrupted Keep again? Because sometimes we see the maps change. We see the maps change quite a lot, but I feel like game 1 was so dominant. Maybe Cypher just feels like today that might be just a really good map for his playstyle.
Maybe. I mean, we'll find out very soon. Like we about to get underway with this next map just shortly. But like we said, this is the Quake World Championships, the first EU qualifier. Let's not forget, today is not where it ends. The top 16 of today's bracket, when we had over 700 signups, 700 individual people trying to play Quake today in this tournament. But when we get down to our top 16, we'll resume the Duel Cup on Sunday, where we'll then go down to basically getting to the top 8 of the tournament. And that top 8 will qualify for the regional finals later.
And then the regionals are where things really start to matter, because the regionals will determine who makes it to QuakeCon, which is the venue for the Quake World Championship Finals, where there is that $1 million championship pool that I think pretty much everyone in this bracket definitely wants a piece of that. That's why we've seen so many of these players come back to Quake for Quake Champions from Quake 3, Quake Live, Quake 4. No matter what old game you played, you know, or competed in, all of these guys are back in the bracket, and that's why we see a matchup like stermy versus Cypher. This is a matchup that we're seeing, and it's a classic Quake matchup, but it just so happens to be in a new game. So the fact that it's currently 1-1, Cypher dominantly taking map number 1, but we had to restart map number 2, and stermy, after the reset, really seemed to pull it together, and he managed to take map number 2. Now, in this situation, Cypher has got the luxury of choosing the map. He can output himself in that advantageous situation if he wants, but his game plan, to be honest, really did favour that corrupted keep pick. You do wonder if he's going to pick that again.
I expect so, but I guess we'll find out very, very soon.
I'm prepared to be wrong.
Just, you know, while we wait for this map to come back up again, let's just reflect on some of the more iconic matches we've had today. You know, Agent versus Hal, Faz versus Vu, Luminous versus Sombra. You know, these are just a few examples of some of the quality of games we've had today already. And this is just week 1. I expect we'll see some great teams as we go through. And here we go. Blood Run will be the last map. And we go through. So Cypher, first things first, Galena, no messing around, straight in there.
I think, bear in mind, Faz versus Vu was definitely one of the best sets of this tournament, but right now, looking like Cypher and stermy looking to be just as close. Now, Blood Run, Galena first. Making again, we see Blood Run, we see Galena get picked. This seems like a very map-specific champion selection. You know, the fact that Galena can basically... She can put the totems down in these really inconvenient places, but it's a small map. It's a closed quarters map. Jump pads are, well, actually not necessarily as much with jump pads, it's the teleporters that are really prominent. If you go through a teleporter and Galena's put a turret down, a totem down, you can't react to that. You know, you have to preemptively destroy it before you go through the teleporter, otherwise it's a free 75 damage. And against some of these small champions that we see stermy picking, 75 damage is a lot of damage, especially when it just gets caught, you know, in a sense that when the damage applies, bear in mind, when you're Galena, you can see the totem on the map as well. It will appear through the map. And when it gets taken out, you see the number value or you just see it vanish. That's still going to give you an indication that the opponent is there. They're right by that totem. So almost like a UAV as well. You know, you can see where the other guy is.
Well, speaking of which, you know, we're already seeing Ranger picked once again on Blood Run here, having the option to use that Dire Orb to pick up multiple key pickups at the same time, but also, you know, like for example, grates and some, you know, holes and stuff that nobody can just shoot through. He can get a Dire Orb through there, which gives you that escape option, lets you secure pickups from angles that other characters can't do. I guess we'll have to wait and see if that's going to make a big difference here.
Now, the main thing we definitely see the Dire Orb used for so far is in the middle of the map to sort of go from the bottom of the screen and secure that heavy armor. Bear in mind, this is our final map between stermy and Cypher. Now, Cypher, very low on life right there. stermy caught a really good start.
I think Cypher just popping that piercing sight just to see if he's actually safe to get through there. Tries to zone up with a nail gun, but not too many of them are connecting right now, but does do a lot of damage though. 20 damage per nail.
Yeah, did manage to do a respectable amount regardless. He's now got the rail. Misses the rail though, stermy. A lot of life left. Now, even though the mega health is going to spawn, I think he's opting to take the heavy armor. Maybe a bit of a safer approach. Yeah, they trade it 1 for 1.
They're going to go for it and jumps back over again, trying to keep himself safe. And now normally we see so many battles going on in sort of that center room. Right now, both players just trying to stack up on health and armor before that happens.
Again, you kind of wonder what the pressure is going to be like. This tournament is single elimination. Whoever loses this tournament, or this match, is going to be out of the tournament for this week.
Also, stermy knows he's being seen by the piercing sight, but still took a lot of damage from the rail. These rockets restart that up. He goes to the LG, that's going to be it. And stermy still staying to fight despite doing minimal damage to Cypher. Cypher really makes him pay.
Cypher very almost, very much almost got fragged at the very beginning. He was left with 20 HP, which wasn't enough. Gets tagged by the rail before the Ghost Walk. You definitely know stermy was looking to get it before he got hit. That's going to be free 80 damage regardless.
Almost hit that rail, that could be it. Normally we're seeing Cypher be really good with those, but this round, not so much.
Bear in mind, Blood Run, even though it's a new map, it's not a new map for the Quake franchise. These guys are going to be familiar with where they should be aiming.
Cypher missing by a hair's length here, both shots back to back. Rockets coming through, stermy gets a little bit of damage, but stermy still massively down on life. There's the piercing sight to come through, and that rocket is going to do it. Left with one champion remaining. Ranger is standing alone against Cypher's entire team.
Bear in mind, guys, I just got informed by our admin team that this match is actually the game that will determine who makes it into the Sunday's round of 16. So this match is pivotal for making it into Sunday.
Oh my word, and there we go, that first round goes in the way of Cypher. Cypher has woken up. All comes down to maybe, we predicted swapping away from that slash, but going towards Visor instead. It's just having that knowledge, knowing where your opponent is, activating that piercing sight and seeing exactly where they are. Cypher is putting that to perfect use.
Well, Visor, he takes an already good Quake player and he almost like puts an exclamation mark on the end of it, because you're already going to be familiar with where an opponent's going, predicting their movement, listening out for things. But right here, with stermy being as far away as he is, Cypher manages to get 3 rockets, all of which are going to be on the money, all because he knew exactly where stermy was going to be.
This is why it's important to learn as many champions as you can. You need to be unpredictable and diverse in your champion choice, and Cypher is showing us all exactly why that is.
He's going to go on the chase, sees the Ghost Walk, he's going to have to read where he goes. Actually, almost on the money, almost following him through the jump pad.
I think almost deciding to go for that mega health, you know, instead of chasing that kill. Because we know the armor's up soon, but Cypher going towards where it is now.
Almost doing like a surprise rocket behind, just in case stermy was waiting for him on the other side.
Level 10 damage, not too much. Adding up though, and there's the follow-up rail. stermy left with barely any health whatsoever.
I think at this stage, though, stermy's likely to have his Ghost Walk back, so he is going to have that sort of lifeline if he needs it. You wonder if Cypher's going to even give him a chance,
No armor, though. If he gets hit by any rail or a direct rocket, that is curtains for Nyx.
Takes
That's
the
a little
Mega. Yeah, takes that Mega again. 4 seconds left on the heavy armor, so no doubt we're going to see Cypher try and secure that as well. I really feel like stermy isn't taking the risk. I think he understands that it's very risky to go into the middle of the map and try and take these pickups when he is as weak as he is.
Of course, there we go. Cypher really stocking up on these resources, has all the weapons he could need. Not so many rockets as ammo. Oh no, but he hits that rail. That's what we need to see. And there's the Ghost Walk pop. Cypher's going to know that's down, and he's got his piercing sight. This could be guaranteed death.
Really good use of that piercing sight, not actually using it while stermy's invisible, using it when he knows it runs out, and there is nothing stermy can do to get away. But you can see why the Visor pick on this map has been so prominent. It's so easy for Visor to chase in these situations. Speaking of chase, Cypher does it again and catches another rail, and he goes up on another round.
Whatever momentum Cypher has found from the first map is coming back again in map number 3. And despite looking so convincingly down in map number 2, and stermy was looking really strong, Cypher is able to completely flip the tables once again and find himself on match point.
Just to remind all of you guys, this round is make or break for stermy for this week. If Cypher wins this round, he will move on to the Sunday playoffs at 7. Who's going to make it into the regionals to potentially make it to QuakeCon? Very important round for Cypher right now.
So the Quake World Championship finals taking place at QuakeCon this year. That's an honor these guys are really going to want, and stermy is fighting back. Not going to go down without a fight.
Once again, Stowe being really careful. He's forced that Nyx out really early. However, he's definitely heard that Cypher's just popped that, so he's going to be super careful. It'll be a safe mega health though, regardless. Wonder if stermy can do much to try and challenge this heavy armor. Yeah, it does snag it. Actually, this time around, it's Cypher that's being careful.
Well, let's not forget, he does have the timers on his side. He does have 5 minutes to work with. Taking a lot of damage, though, there. stermy going for this Ranger first, definitely working out for him. I think it's just a harder character to predict, right? The Dire Orb just gives you that mobility, so even if you do get seen from piercing sight, you know, you can't see the direction you throw the Dire Orb through the wall.
Catches the rocket again, however, doesn't quite get the prediction on where the rocket's going to send him. But again, using that Dire Orb just to relocate. And now that's going to be a heavy armor. Manages to get it before Cypher does, but again, minimal damage on the rocket, but the rail comes through, and now Cypher is in a lot of trouble.
Indeed, very low on life, no armor around whatsoever as well. Gonna try and pick that up slowly but surely, getting a little bit of health back, and stermy very much in control of these powerful pickups.
But I feel like Cypher, he's kind of letting it happen, you know. I think he understands that with stermy being as stacked as he is, he really can't risk going in there, because the second he tries to overextend and pick up one of these items, he's just going to take so much damage. However, that rocket is definitely a good start.
Oh, and just with the LG on the way.
Tags him going in for the heavy armor, but Cypher with the LG again! The accuracy alone coming through, and the health just annihilated. stermy now forced onto his Nyx.
I just don't know if Cypher's accuracy on this lightning gun could be contested. He's just winning every single confrontation that involves it. However, he's put on this Visor where he's been looking so comfortable this entire game.
I mean, Cypher's the champion that's got the job done on Blood Run, that's for sure.
No doubt he's low on armor, but still has plenty of health to work with.
Ooh! He's actually seen him. He's noticed that he's gone away. And now stermy acknowledges that too. Tries to almost lay a trap with the nail gun, but it's not going to be enough. The lightning gun once again. Is he going to chase him through? Yes! And what a shot from Cypher! Crazy good reaction.
He's
just
already
knowing.
started turning left before he even went in the teleporter.
That's just that.
That is the
level.
confidence this man had in the read, that he was going to be exactly there when he came out to the other side.
Again, he knows stermy's near there. Obviously taking that mega health as well, being super chunky, ready to go. Give himself that heavy armor as well. And just here, Cypher just became incredibly dangerous. stermy goes in with the dual wheel, but it doesn't matter. Cypher defeating stermy and making it into the Sunday playoffs. And we'll see stermy next week, no doubt.
I think that really sums up, right? You know, even though we said not too long ago about how accurate Cypher is in those kind of like lightning gun 1v1s, to outgun a Blazkowicz who's dual-wielding lightning guns when you have one, that kind of sums it all up, I think. And we will be seeing Cypher again in Sunday's playoffs, where we will see who we're going to be seeing again later into the regionals to find out who makes it to the finals of the Quake World Championship.
Well, but obviously, amazingly well played from stermy as well. I mean, this guy is a legend in his own right, no doubt. We will see him again, probably next week, I'm expecting. However, this was just a superb set for Cypher. Like, this first map on the Corrupted Keep was just aggression to a level we had not seen all night. But it's just efficiency. He took the rounds so convincingly, and the map went in, you know, the blink of an eye, like right there, like just the speed of which he can delete health when he has the Blazkowicz on deck. But then things mixed up a little bit. We went on to the... That was a disgusting shot. We went on to the Ruins of Sarnath. Now, this was where stermy essentially forced Cypher to slow the pace down. It was a bit more of an open map, and even though it was an amazing start for Cypher, we did see stermy start to slow things down, and he just gradually made a comeback. In hindsight, it was actually a phenomenal comeback. However,
it took a lot of composure, right? That's the main thing. stermy was down so convincingly in this map, but was able to eventually bring it back. You know, he made some kind of adjustment. Whatever he thought of was enough, and Cypher making clutch shots like that. But again, stermy still ended up taking that map.
He did, and it was a close one though. Like, stermy definitely had to fight for it. However, the 2 rounds after the reset, it was just right there, like, fantastic shot. But after the reset situation, stermy just looked really dominant.
And then again, the same thing. He looked the same play.
He looked really dominant in both of those rounds, to the point where I thought, well, when we go on to the next round, is stermy going into this map with way more momentum? However, Cypher, with a complete switch-up, you know, he goes in, and just like that, you can see that is why Visor is so dangerous. He had those prediction rockets because he knew exactly where stermy was going to be near that heavy armor, and only Visor would have been able to see him to that exact degree. Like, I think it was just a good awareness of not only how to play these maps, but also knowing what champion to use in the right time. You know,